Welcome. In this video, we'll be going over Lesson 7 from Module 2 for 7th grade. We'll be doing Example 1 and Example 2. In this first example, we're going to use this real-world situation. We're going to suppose a 7th grader's birthday is today, and she is 12 years old. We want to know how old she was 3.5 years ago, and we're going to write an equation and use a number line to model our answer. We're going to do the number line part in example 1, but here's an equation. We have to figure out how to represent the two numbers 12 years old today and 3.5 years ago. So 12 years old, that's a positive 12. 3.5 years ago, that means we need to go back 3.5 years, so that's a negative 3.5. If we add those two numbers together, 12 plus 3.5, or negative 3.5, or we could use it as subtraction, 12 minus 3.5. But either way, here's what it would look like. Now we're going to do it on the number line. We're going to start by placing the tail of the arrow on 12, as if we have gone 0 all the way up to 12. And then the length of our next arrow is going to be the absolute value of negative 3.5, which is 3.5. So that means we have to go 3.5 units back. So from 12, 11, 10, 9 and a half. And we're going left since we're adding a negative number to 12. 1, 2, 3. When we do parts, sometimes it's easy to do the jumps in the whole number first and then do the jump of the fraction after that. And there's our half jump. So we're at not 9.5, we got to count from this direction, 8.5. So 3.5 years ago, she was 8.5 years old. In example 2, we're going to find the following difference, but this time we've got to write out our steps. We're going to find 1 minus 2.25. Well, that's the same as 1 plus negative 2.25. We're going to follow these steps to find it on the number line. First, we're going to place the tail of the arrow on 1, since that's where we've started. We've gone from 0 to 1, and now we're going to go from 1, and we're going to go back 2.25 marks. So the length of the arrow is 2.25, the absolute value of negative 2.25, and we're going to go to the left because we have a negative 2.25. So from 1, we're going to go back this way. And to see that we've gone 2.25, here's our hop for 2.25. So we went from 1 to 0, 0 to negative 1, that's our 2. And then we went from negative 1 to negative 1.25 to get our quarter. All right, this is just an example of how we can do the same things we've done with whole numbers and negative, positive whole numbers with fractions and decimals. We can use number lines to do them. All we have to do is break them up into the parts we need. Make sure you have these notes filled out. It's a very easy homework tonight, and we'll see you in class.